Hello, Arizonans. I'm Arizona State Representative Lorena Austin. I have the honor of serving Legislative District Number 9 in the East Valley, and I'm here today with Secretary of State Adrian
Happy to be
to
here.
talk about an incredible and important program that we have in the state, the Arizona Address Confidentiality Program, or the ACP, which was created to ensure that victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and/or stalking could be protected from their perpetrators by not being able to locate their address. So they're given a substitute address and also a mail forwarding option to ensure that we are keeping Arizonans safe in this state. House Democrats fought tirelessly to ensure that this funding was included in the fiscal year 2026 budget and to ensure it would not be canceled. So I get to sit here with Secretary Fontes today and ask you a few questions about the program. I know you're super passionate about it and have brought it forward to the legislature. So can you tell us a little bit about the program and why it's so important, and maybe if you've heard from survivors and how it's made a difference in their lives?
Well, the important thing about the ACP for folks to understand is that this is really the last safe harbor. It's a unique program. It's a one of a kind in Arizona. Several other states, however, do have ACP programs as well. And really what it does is it gives folks the opportunity to no longer be living in fear and be pursued by folks who can utilize publicly accessible information to find them and to continue the harassment or the stalking or even the violence. And so folks, to get into the program, that you literally have to pick up and move to a new location. They apply for the program. Once we get them processed in, then we literally receive all of the mail at an address that is not the address where they're living. And this is a legal address. We take care of everything from ballots by mail, court documents, anything else that they need. We are that confidential address for those folks who need that protection. So it's really about keeping Arizonans safe from the bad guys who are actually looking for them. We're very proud to run that program out of the Secretary of State's office, but unfortunately, a couple of years ago, some of the consistent federal funding for the program fell away and it wasn't renewed. And so we have had to scrimp and scrape, and much thanks to good folks like you in the legislature, we got the funding that we needed, but we only got one-time funding. We're going to have to come back again and fight to keep these Arizona families safe.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a big concern for this next upcoming budget year, especially since most people don't know, approximately 40% of Arizona's budget is based on federal funding. So we as lawmakers have to ensure that we are keeping these programs that are keeping Arizonans safe afloat, and shouldn't be one time, in my opinion. So I guess if you could ask any legislator or talk to them about this program, what would you tell them?
Well, what I would tell them is the health and safety of Arizona's families literally depends on this program moving forward and continuing in perpetuity. So we want this program to be fully funded by the state. But here's the interesting thing. Unfortunately, this is a growing program. We have well over 1,000 households right now. We protect a few thousand Arizonans. And the thing is, we're getting a lot more people applying because folks are hearing about this. And unfortunately, there are more Arizonans who qualify. And so what I would say is this. If you want to keep Arizona's families safe and you want to keep them secure, this is the best way to do it. The other thing, too, is I think this is incredibly important. There's only 8 folks who run this entire program in the state. They run it under my office. But here's the really interesting part. I've never seen any of those files. I can't even go into the room. That's how confidential this is. Only the folks who are sworn into that program have access to this information. It's very secure, but we also run it in a way that's kind of rough because the narrow number of people that we have running it, we've got 8 people for the number of folks that we have in Arizona. Similar populations in other states have staffs that are up to 14 or 16, so almost twice as many staffers to take care of the influx so that when folks are finding themselves in those emergencies where they need it, we could process them faster and get them safe as quickly as possible. These are the considerations I think that representatives like you and folks in the Senate should take into consideration.
I think you're absolutely correct. I mean, it's safe, it's secure, but it needs more funding, much like so many other programs here in the state. But this is a really critical one I wanted to touch on because it really does ensure the safety of Arizonans. No matter who you are, it doesn't matter.
Well, the other thing too is, a lot of folks will talk about, oh, we want to keep our kids safe. This program literally does that every single day. And we really ought to be funding this because, who knows, one of these kids might grow up to be, help cure cancer or even sit in the House or the Senate here. that we want to make sure that folks in Arizona are happy, healthy, safe, and nearby their families. And so we're doing our level best to make sure that we keep the promise that we've got. We're hoping that folks in the legislature will see that this isn't just a feel-good program. This is can be a life and death program, because some of those stalkers out there, perpetrators of violence as against some of these victims, and survivors, I should say, they're not great people. So we're protecting the good folks from the bad folks, and we hope more people in the legislature will come along and help us fund this thing.
Amazing. Thank you so much for what you're doing in the Secretary's office. We applaud you, and I know that Democrats are going to continue to fight for this funding because it is very simple. It keeps Arizonans safe, and that's what we need to be doing with our public dollars. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next session.